Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
On April 26th, we all got a notification from YouTube Bangtan TV channel that someone was going live. For me, this was at 7:30 in the morning. The title of the YouTube video was What's Melting? And I thought, oh, maybe someone's going live, and then that they just picked a funny title or something. But when you clicked on it, it went to a static image of a yellow cube that was melting. It looked like it was either an ice cube or butter. And there was a countdown, and when I clicked on it, it was already halfway over because it was already gotten started. And it was a 1 hour countdown, and in the background you could hear like cooking noises or like sizzling, just like kitchen sounds. During this hour, like the image would really slowly change, so it was like a melting cube, and then it by the end of it, it became like a heart shape that had I think it had the logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of it, it just had an announcement about Butter 5/21/2021. So clearly that was a comeback announcement, and they didn't show anybody on screen or anything. It was like that was everything. Later we find out from Hybe had a press release, and they said that the song is going to be all English, so it's going to be similar to Dynamite. And they described the song as Butter is a dance pop track brimming with the smooth yet charismatic charm of BTS. So that's all the information we got. This was like a week ago, and everybody's been speculating ever since then. On May 1st, we got a concept teaser poster, and it was a photo that had 7 objects on it, like 7 Polaroids or something. And it kind of looked like the aftermath of a party, like when there was just like stuff left on the floor. And so this has caused people to come up with a lot of different theories about what does that mean and what does that tell us about what Butter is going to be like. So some people think the 7 photos represent the 7 members, like each one looks like what represents each person. Or some people think each picture represents something significant from the history of BTS. So what the 7 photos were, one was happy face balloons, and then a camera and film, and then a toast with a heart on it, and a party popper with confetti spilled out, and a mixed drink, and jellies, and then a smashed lollipop. So I thought it looked like a similar color scheme to the Dynamite photo. I don't know if you know which photo I'm thinking of, but when they're in that donut shop, I think it has a similar color scheme with the like kind of washed out color and like kind of green in the background. So, but I don't know what that means. So, and there's also, besides the 7 objects, there was a small photo on there with some black and white object, and you can't really tell what it is. But to me, it kind of looks like the wall of a building, like when there's an all black wall and then the side of the wall is white, like inside the corporate building. But, I don't know how that connects to everything else. But yeah, there's a lot of theories going around right now, and some like really complicated ones. And I don't think it's going to connect to anything from previous eras. I think it's just going to be its own thing, kind of like Dynamite was its own thing. Because I think BTS has kind of stopped doing the, ongoing storylines that connect from multiple albums. But yeah, the most common theories that I'm seeing online are that they think Butter is bringing back the Run era, which is where they were like kind of youths getting in trouble and stuff. And if you saw the Run video, it's like them running around doing, stuff and getting caught by police and being rowdy and stuff like that. And in the Run video, they threw a party, and then they're saying, oh, maybe this is pictures of the aftermath of that, like all the stuff on the ground. So some people think they're bringing back the Run era somehow. Another popular theory is that it's just bringing back past memories, like it's flashing back to different times of their other videos. So that's why some of it looks familiar, some of the photos on there. And there's another theory that says maybe Butter represents their rise to fame, and somehow it's like it all happened fast, and then now they're kind of looking back and seeing like, oh, how do we get to this point all of a sudden? just the way the photos are. There's another theory that it's like represents a crime scene because it's like all this stuff that's like on the ground. Like, what did a crime just happen, or just the way that it's all laid out? And it seems like everything is on the floor. So that's like, oh, that's not a good sign. That's often what happens in crime. It's like stuff is left on the ground. But I have my own theory about that, and I think it's, you know how B was about COVID. Basically, it's how the people dealt with that situation of being isolated and, you know, not being able to do the things you can usually do, and, you know, how your life was during that. I think Butter is going to be about post-COVID life. So I think it's going to be about trying to remember how to have fun again and connect to people and be social and just go back to how things were. And especially the fact that it's a dance pop track, the way they're describing it, I just feel like it'll be more about something fun and not anything serious like a crime or, you know, some serious theory that's going around. And you think, oh, well, it's so easy to just go back to pre-COVID life, just do what you did before. But I mean, if you know people in your real life, it's like some people are going to have a hard time adjusting back to normal. They're kind of like, they're used to how it is now. Like, they're used to wearing masks all the time, and they're used to like being really careful and like hardly going out and hardly doing anything fun. And, you know, oh, I haven't seen my family in a year. I haven't been to a restaurant in a year. Like, I'm sure you know people that are like that. And it's like, okay, well, now you got to like, let's all open the door and like remember what it was like before and all the things we enjoyed and all the things we appreciated, because we are going to have to get back to normal at some point. You have to like let go of crisis mode, you know? So I think...
yeah. Or maybe it's just the title that the songwriter came up with.
Yeah, and we don't know anything...
It may not really be about anything.
We don't know anything about the songwriter, or if BTS was involved in any of that, or if it was a outside writer or anything like that. So yeah, that could be a totally unrelated thing, and maybe it's not even a commentary on anything. It's just a fun song, you know, like Dynamite was. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's possible it's just going to relate to the current world now, and maybe, you know, post-COVID world, let's all get used to going back to doing the things we did, and hopefully that includes concerts and, you know, normal stuff. But yeah, I think that would be very meaningful for people. And earlier we were listening to a playlist that you had put on, and one of the songs was Last Friday Night, and like earlier I wrote in my notes like, oh, this song kind of reminds me of that, like Butter. It might be like that because just from the teaser poster, it looks like the aftermath of a party. Like, oh, remember when people had a lot of fun, and then this is what it looks like afterwards. And that's what Last Friday Night was about. And that was a fun pop song too, from Katy Perry's best era, from Teenage Dream. So yeah, that's my theory, and maybe I'll be right, and we'll find out soon enough. We're supposed to get more clues and stuff this week, so we'll see. Did you have any theories on Butter?
No. In fact, I'm guessing it's just probably the songwriter wrote a song called Butter.
You think it's like literally like the butter the food?
Does dynamite really mean anything? Is it that deep? I think some songwriter just wrote a song and it said dynamite and wrote a bunch of nonsense lyrics like about LeBron James. But it doesn't matter because it's a catchy song, so who cares? You know?
Yeah. Sometimes like the lyrics, they don't have to mean anything. It's just if it's
absolutely
fun
they
song.
do not. And in fact, I prefer that they don't mean. I'm not one of these people that likes to deconstruct everything or think too heavily about it. I just want to, you know, have a nice song that puts me in a good mood. Or I guess a song that puts you in some people like songs that put them in bad moods. I don't understand those people, but I guess I sort of do because I like some of those songs too. But rarely are they so deep. Sort of, I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
most likely
with a name like Butter, I'm gonna guess I'm probably gonna lean on the side of it's probably not that deep. It's just I'm sure they had a lot to do with the production side of it. But once it gets to the English translation, because it has to be fully translated in English, right? Mm-hmm. The lyricists they hired, they might have just made some nonsense song called Butter and put some nonsense lyrics.
It could be slang for something.
That's what the lyricist did with Dynamite, correct? Nobody's going to accuse that song of being deep or meaningful, at least that I know of. That's not a criticism again, because I don't care if songs are not deep or meaningful. But certainly Dynamite is not one of them. And yeah, my guess is Butter probably won't be one of them either. Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of theories going around, but also there's a joke too, because people are also saying like, oh, BTS is probably like laughing at all of ARMY right now for having these complicated theories, and maybe it's just a simple, fun pop song, and that's it.
I would guess with their all English, because the only other all English one was pretty just superficial, right?
So from page 6, we have some exclusive news. Apparently, it says Justin Bieber and K-pop superstars BTS are collaborating on a new song. The source says they're taking their time on it and going to make sure it is released right. The insider speculates that the track could be part of a deluxe release of Justin Bieber's recently released album, Justice, to keep the album on the charts. And of course, we expected this to happen as soon as Hybe purchased Ithaca Holdings. It's like, well, of course, they're probably going to work together at some point. I didn't know it would be that fast, or if this was like already in the works before that acquisition was happening. But yeah, this...
I mean, didn't we guess this? It was bound to happen.
We guessed this.
Why would you buy Ithaca? Why would you get the rights to these people and not have an amazing collaboration, a superstar collab? Why not? Of course it was coming. Of course.
I think it's been a tentative thing for even longer than that.
Probably, yeah. They were just waiting for the ink to dry.
Well, I do think it's interesting that it's going to be for Justin Bieber's album.
For Justin Bieber's album?
Yeah.
But the money that Justin Bieber makes is money that Hybe makes at this point. What do they care? What difference does it make to them?
That's true. I wonder if that's just the easiest thing to do first, since his album's already out, and then all they have to do is just have BTS, record a small piece of song,
perhaps.
And then, it goes on a song that mostly Justin Bieber's singing. So that would be an easy thing and help boost his numbers. Because I don't know how well his latest album is doing.
I'm sure it's doing fine. Let's not discredit him or anything. He's still Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
much as I don't like Justin Bieber, we can't deny that he's a hugely popular artist.
I think this latest album is better than the album before.
Okay. But yeah, of course this was coming. And this is going to be great. This is going to be, it's going to be titans coming together. And it's just the two most popular. Well, maybe Ariana Grande might be a little more popular than Bieber right now. What do you think? No, I think he's more popular than her still. So this is the two most popular names in music right now. They're going to collaborate. Right?
Yeah.
They're going to collaborate. Usually Justin Bieber, he collaborates with like Ed Sheeran and stuff. It's like he doesn't collaborate with just nobodies.
Yeah. He had a song with Shawn Mendes recently too. So that was like, okay, 2 vocalists in that song. But a lot of his other songs he's doing the singing part and then there's a rapper featured. So that makes me think, maybe it's going to be mostly like the BTS rappers that are going to be on this collaboration. Because that's the kind of music he makes. It'll be like R&B with a rap solo on it. On April 30th, singer-songwriter eAeon unveiled his second solo album, Fragile, along with the music video for the title track, Don't, which features RM from BTS. eAeon and RM both wrote the lyrics for the song Don't. And they're friends, but they worked together one time before on a song for RM's solo album. And for this song, I thought it was a pretty good song. It's I've never heard of this artist before, but I saw the video and I saw the song and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And his voice goes with RM's pretty well. Like this guy is like sings a little bit higher and then RM has kind of a deeper voice.
파도는 원래 무슨 색일까요? 부서질 땐 새하얗잖아요. 그간의 표류는 괜찮았나요?
That other surprising part of it was like, it wasn't like RM doing a bunch of rap or anything. It was like he was actually singing on this track.
Mm-hmm.
So that was surprising to me, but I was like, wow, this song's pretty good. And like if I didn't know ahead of time, I don't know if I would have known that that's RM's voice because he doesn't sing that often.
Well, didn't he probably started off as a singer. Isn't it often that in K-pop people are just sort of horned into the rap role?
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
I think so.
Like they don't want to be the rapper, but you're the rapper. Deal with it.
Well, a lot of times rappers are the ones that write music
I just get the sense that a lot of times people are just told to be the rapper. That's not a criticism, but I think that in K-pop groups that's often the case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a rapper who said, I love rap music, I just want to be a rapper. Also, I'm going to join this K-pop system. Usually people who join a K-pop system probably think of themselves as a singer-dancer, and then it was just determined that they had weaker vocals than the other people, and so now you're the rapper. Deal with it.
Well, I think that's what happened with J-Hope, because he was originally a singer.
Yeah. So I think that happens a lot. That's not a criticism, but it is a thing that
They're
happens.
like, we need you as a rapper.
Yeah, you're the rapper, by the way. And, it's easier to convert from a singer to a rapper than from a rapper to a singer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised that RM can sing a little. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all rappers are good at. They can sing too, maybe not with as much range.
Not all. No, not all of them. Some rappers are not good singers.
Like K-pop.
Oh, in
rappers.
K-pop, maybe.
Usually,
in K-pop.
people are more well.
I thought you were talking about all rappers on Earth.
No.
Oh, okay, because I was just thinking Kanye West is not a good singer.
What about
and
Snoop
yet
Dogg?
he does it all the time.
Snoop Dogg.
He's not good either. He's not good either. But you can't stop those guys. They have too much power, so they just do it constantly. Oh gosh, Kanye West is a terrible singer. Have you heard him singing? Like on the Paul McCartney collaborate? Isn't that not a terrible song? I mean, it's a good song, if not for his presence on it. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. And so, I always thought, and here's the thing, that song really was a rude awakening to me. I always had thought, well, I guess I still sort of think that Paul McCartney, John Lennon, they're not really the greatest vocalists. I thought, the Beatles are great songwriters for sure. But as vocalists, they leave a lot to be desired, right?
Right.
I thought, Paul McCartney really can't sing very well. But after I heard him collaborate with Kanye West, I thought, I apologize. I thought that Paul McCartney might be the bottom of the barrel. Clearly, he was not. Clearly, he can get a lot lower, and that lower is Kanye West. And that's I'm not trying to denigrate Kanye West either. He's a great producer. He makes great music. He's a great rapper. He's not a good singer.
He can't do everything.
He's not a good singer. I'm absolutely certain that Kanye West and I are equivalent singers, and I'm a terrible singer. It's just sort of like a half rap, half singing, all out of tune. It's just garbage. That song...
You're talking about 4 or 5 seconds?
Yes, I am. And here's how you know that song was destroyed by Kanye West. When I first heard it and he was on it, I thought, this is one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. I don't know why you did it. I don't know why you wasted everybody's time. You wasted Rihanna's time. You wasted Paul McCartney's time. Was this like some sort of ego thing? What's going on?
Well, those 3 names, you think, wow,
this is probably going to be a great song. No, it wasn't. It was a terrible song. But then what I did was I searched for covers of it with competent singers doing it, and it's actually a good song, which, by the way, Kanye West had a huge part in writing that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, he decided to insert his actual singing voice on the song, and it was terrible. But when other people sing it, it sounds very good. That's what happens when you put a really bad singer on a song. I'm not trying to say RM is that type of thing, but some rappers are not good singers. RM is a good singer.
Yeah, I think he's
pretty
good. And to create this song, eAeon, I don't really know how to pronounce this guy's name, but yeah,
that sounds right.
eAeon, and he told RM like, okay, I think you would sound good on this song or this song, and he gave him like 2 titles, and then RM just like created his whole part for that song. Like he wrote the song, and he wrote the lyrics and the music for those parts, and then sent it back to him, and it was like, oh, okay, well, that's good, that's perfect. And normally collabs, it's like you go back and forth. It's like, no, fix this, or I don't like this how that sounds, or this and that. But apparently, like, he sent it back, and it was like good to go. And I was like, wow, he must be really easy to work with. And if you watch the video, the song is about this couple that has all these relationship problems, and they have a history, and so that's why it's showing like flashbacks, like, oh, these are some good times, but now we're having all these issues with each other. And then Don't is about like, oh, don't leave what we have and all that. And so I wonder if fans might think, oh, what is RM like writing from experience? Like, does he have some kind of like long-term relationship that he's like drawing from to write these lyrics, or is it just like, oh, he was given the the situation of the song, and he's like, yeah, I can write for that. I can write for anything, you know? Like he's that good of a songwriter. So I wonder if that might raise any questions about that. Although, you know, there's really no way to know since we don't know any of their dating situations. So, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty good song, and I'm surprised because like a lot of times Korean artists, like I don't like that many artists outside of the ones I know already from K-pop. So I was surprised. I was like, oh, this song's pretty good. And the video is good too. And I feel like it illustrated what the song was about. And the video was what I was looking for from Rosé's song Gone. I was like, she should have had that in her video, like showing couple stuff, like whatever it is that, you know, how her song was about a guy that left her and she doesn't have love anymore. Like I thought it would have scenes like we're in this video that shows problems, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of. I was like, why wasn't Gone more like this video? Because it would have made more sense. But I thought it was a very good collab, and we didn't get that much attention on it, but I think the song is doing well. Like it sold a lot more than this artist normally sells, so that's good that he got the boost from RM's collab for his album. The Grammy Awards have announced some changes to their nomination process. They said they will no longer use anonymous review committees to determine its nominees. The decision comes after the awards show faced harsh criticism and calls for increased transparency from The Weeknd, who was snubbed for last year's awards despite a record-breaking run at the top of the charts. The Academy said it also changed the number of categories in which Academy members can vote and added 2 new awards to reflect its ongoing commitment to evolve with the musical landscape and ensure that the Grammy Awards rules and guidelines are transparent and equitable. So before, they had a review committee of 20 people would pick the top 8 nominees out of the artists who had been voted into the top 20 in 4 of the biggest categories. So this affects Best Album, Song, Record of the Year, and Best New Artist. And the majority of nominees for other awards were also chosen by review committees of varying sizes. So now all nominees will be based solely on the thousands of votes from the Academy's voting members. So that seems like a very big change because you're eliminating basically the middleman, the review committees that kind of see what the results are, and then they're like, oh, well, we'll decide the top nominees, the final ones for those 4 categories.
Well, like we speculated earlier, I think that the higher up people recognize that they need to include K-pop a little bit more, but this doesn't solve the quote-unquote solve the problem. I'm not sure it's even a problem of them winning, because I think the problem is the larger voting body. Mm-hmm. The process to nominate things doesn't affect the larger voting body, right? It doesn't. Like, they're not changing the larger voting body. And I'm not even suggesting they should change the larger voting body, but they're probably more intransigent as far as changing and, you know, welcoming K-pop. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a minor award category this year, and they didn't even vote for BTS over some, I would say, almost irrelevant Ariana Grande collaboration. Mm-hmm. That's the larger voting body, and you're not changing that. All you'll see now is BTS getting nominated for more categories and losing them.
That's true, because last year, with this old process, with the review committees, they only got enough votes to get into one category and then didn't win that one category. So I guess this should, in theory, help them get more nominations, but like you said, maybe not more wins.
But at the same time, if you have more shots at it, probably you have a better chance at winning more. Like I said before, I don't think it's that important. They shouldn't dwell on whether or not they can win Grammys.
Yeah, and sometimes though, if you get nominated enough times, people get used to that idea, and maybe that's even enough to influence more votes. It's like, well, that's a Grammy nominated artist, you know, and that gets in people's minds that you're of that caliber. I wonder if this helps with whatever The Weeknd was dissatisfied about. Like, I'm sure he's definitely going to get more nominations now because it helps popular artists.
Right.
But then at the same time, if this change is from 4 of the biggest categories, then I'm sure there's some people at the Grammys who know who was on those review committees, and it's like, oh, well, I know my artist was nominated. They better be in the top 5 or the top 8 or whatever for that category. And then now that step is eliminated, there can be less influence from somebody like Scooter Braun or Beyonce or whoever, like, you know, the people that can influence who's the final nominees are.
But here's the thing. I mean, Scooter Braun, it's pretty obvious Scooter Braun was not some sort of person wielding his influence to block BTS.
No.
It wasn't him. He wasn't out there trying to sabotage them. He's had a good relationship with them for a long time.
No, but my theory is that there's too much influence like that, and people got their artists in, and then that kind of nudged out BTS.
I agree, but they couldn't even win a minor category, right? That leads me to believe that the overall voting body is against them, is not open to them. And so just like throwing more nominations down their throats, it's not going to do anything. That's how I feel.
And there are artists like that. They get nominated a lot, but then they don't win. Like Halsey's sometimes nominated, or Haim, that girl group, they got nominated a lot. But it's kind of like they're a filler nominee. It's like, oh, well, we recognize that you're someone who should be nominated, but then you never get like the top votes. So, well, it's a change, and so it'd be interesting to see what happens next year as a result of that. Mm-hmm. Also in award news, the Billboard nominations were announced on April 29th. The award show is going to air on Sunday, May 23rd. This time, BTS is nominated in 4 categories, whereas before they were only nominated in 2 categories. I think last year it was Top Social Artist and Top Duo or Group, and this time it's those 2 categories, plus they're also nominated in Top Song Sales Artist and Top Selling Song. So I think they have a good chance to win maybe all 4 of them.
They've won Billboard before.
Yeah, I think they don't have any problems winning Billboard awards. Yeah. Like they always get Top Social Artist and Top Duo or Group. That shouldn't be too difficult for them. That's a very weird set of duos and groups, though. I think there's just not that many. Outside of K-pop, there's not that many artists that organize as groups. It's like their competition is AC/DC and like Dan and Shay and Maroon 5. Surprised that they don't have Jonas Brothers in there.
They should win something.
Yeah. And one thing that's interesting about Top Social Artist is it's BTS, Blackpink, Ariana Grande, SB19, and 17. And then I was like, oh, who's SB19? Like, I've never heard of them. How are they going to be Top Social Artists? But apparently that's like the number 1 group. It's like a boy group from the Philippines. So, I mean, I don't know how popular they are, but it's possible there might be like a big push from the Philippines. Like, oh, everybody's going to have pride in voting for this group. So, I mean, it might not be a slam dunk for BTS, but I mean, I do think they probably have more fans and most likely will win that. But I thought that was a very interesting nominee. So you never know what's going to happen. And it's funny, there's like only 1 American artist in there, in the Top Social Artist. Because it's like Americans aren't social with their pop stars. You just make music and we listen to it. We don't have to like interact with you online that much. And then as far as the Top Sales Artist and Top Selling Song, it seems like they should win that because I feel like that Dynamite was...
Yeah, why shouldn't they?
Like the best-selling song of the year, wasn't it? Like it should be... pretty.
Billboards usually just goes to whoever's popular.
It should be pretty straightforward. I don't think it's, unless they have some weird way of calculating this. I'm pretty sure Dynamite definitely outsold all these other songs, and BTS, especially because American fans don't buy albums and they don't buy that many iTunes songs either. It's like everybody's streaming, so there's not that much purchasing happening. So it seems like K-pop has more of an advantage on any of the selling categories. But I know The Weeknd did sell a lot of that album, his album that had Blinding Lights on it. So, I mean, you never know. I don't know how exactly they're calculating it, or what, if it's like just digital sales or physical copies, or, 50-50, however they're doing it. Itzy's released a new mini album called Guess Who on April 30th with the title track Mafia in the Morning. Now, I thought this song was going to be about the criminal underworld or something, but apparently it's not. Mafia is the name of a social deduction party game where the players attempt to uncover each other's hidden roles. And it's really popular in Korea. And if you ever watch these K-pop groups on V Live or anything, they're often playing the Mafia game. And it's like, oh, this person's a murderer, this person is the investigator, and this and that. And you try to figure out who's who. And as that relates to this song, Mafia in the Morning, it's more about hiding your emotions or whatever to win the heart of somebody. Like you're playing hard to get is basically what the song's about.
Right.
I'm the mafia. I'm the mafia.
I thought the song was really good. It's very memorable, and you could tell they're really going hard with the girl crush this time.
Right.
I mean, even though they are already girl crush, I feel like they went even more this time.
Yeah.
But I thought this was really good, and apparently it's getting like a lot of mixed reaction. I was like, oh, really? People don't like this song? Because I thought it was a really good song.
I guess I didn't love it. I mean, I didn't like it like their previous ones. I didn't want them to be as girl crush as they are right now. Because even before, even though they were girl crush, they were still kind of, I mean, listen, like some of them aren't even 18, correct?
Right.
Like Yuna's not 18, so it doesn't really ring true for them to be so girl crush.
I thought maybe it was too soon to go this girl crush.
Yeah. But it's fine. It's fine. It's good. I don't know if it's not as catchy as our last three songs, but it's a good song.
Yeah, Not Shy is hard to beat. I think that's a really good song.
Yeah, my preference is Wannabe.
And I agree that Yuna really stood out in this video. I don't know if she got more of a part this time, but I could just tell like her facial expressions and her part in the song. She was very standout performance, I think.
Yeah.
As well as Ryujin, I think she fits this era very well. But then she's always like super girl crush anyway. Like she's always looks like the tough one.
Right.
So I thought it was a pretty good video. And the song, it's kind of a trap style song, kind of a slower rap. Like it didn't sound as K-pop as previous songs, I guess. I don't know. It sounded like the beat was more of a Western kind of rap song to me. Maybe like Cardi B kind of rapping. But yeah, this song very, very much showcased the rappers. Also this week, I saw that there is possible dating rumors between Yeji and Youngbin from SF9, who I'm not familiar with this group at all, but he's a member of it, and they were seen out and about holding hands or something, and it's not for sure that it's them, but people think it is because it's like paparazzi photos or something, and it's not like super clear, and it's like, well, are we sure that girl is Yeji because it could be someone else, it could be a friend of his or a relative, like he has a sister, but the girl in the picture does have red hair. It was the same as Yeji, so it seems...
So they have masks on, so we don't know exactly who they are.
Yeah. It's not...
Well, let's just say they're dating. So what? Good for them. Wonderful. You know?
Do we know what agency is SF9? I don't think they're JYP.
No.
But I did think it was interesting that... And because I had to look up who he was because I don't know this group very well, but Youngbin is 27 years old and Yeji is 20. So there's like somewhat of an age difference there.
Wait, what is he?
27.
And she's 20? So that's only 7 years. Is that big of a deal?
It just seems like the girls in JYP that we know are dating, it seems like all of them prefer like older guys. I thought that was interesting.
Older? How much older are they though?
Yeah, it was like Momo dating Heechul,
yeah. Well, he's a little, he's more than a decade older.
And
But 7 is not a big deal.
Chaeyoung dating that dude who's like 31 or something.
Oh, but this is generally normal. Like women generally date guys who are older. This is generally true. Are we that shocked about it? What's going on?
Well, I think it's more expected, like a Jennie and Kai situation where it's like, oh, you're only a couple of years away, or Jennie and G-Dragon even, which they're not that far apart, right? Aren't they like 6 years or something?
I don't know, 6, 8, something like that.
But I just think they would be more likely to date some other idol or someone in their agency that is someone you see all the time at your building. But, you know, not someone like 7 and 10 years older.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. It really isn't. So I'm not surprised or anything. Oh well, good for her. As we all know, we don't care about dating here.
I'm in favor of people being happy. It's like,
Who even knows if they're happy? I don't even care if they are happy or not. Go ahead and date and be unhappy if that's what you want to do. You know, that's still your life. If you're happy or unhappy, go ahead. It's your choice. Except, I guess maybe if there's a dating ban or clause in your contract, then you're in contractual breach. But that's not my business. That's between you and your employer, right? That's between you guys. Nothing to do with me.
You think Itzy still has a dating ban, or they had one?
Oh yeah, they probably do if they had one.
Well, when does it start? Does it start when the group debuts and then 3 years?
I'm not a K-pop star, so I don't know exactly. What I've heard is that it's for the first few years.
Mm-hmm. Well, they debuted, I think it was 2019, so they would still be within that time then.
But even if they find you, do they necessarily punish you? Not necessarily.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Probably that she'll just say, well, I was just out with a friend.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop it. It's like, okay, well, try not to be seen next time or whatever.
Right. It can't be proven anyway. They had masks on, right?
Yeah.
How old is she? 20? I mean, come on. When you were 20, when people are 20, they've been dating. Why should we expect any different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's funny how the JYP girls, like, they're just seen randomly out shopping with their men, and it's like it took Dispatch a year to try to get evidence for Jennie and G-Dragon to be dating. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast platforms. New episodes weekly. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow BTS Happy Hour on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also go to the website at btshappyhour.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for additional content. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.